What's going on, everybody? How's it hanging? How's it happening? You guys know who it is. This is Kevin from the Chord Progression podcast, brought to you by MSOTD Rocks or Rock and Metal Thrive. Happy Tuesday, everybody. It is August 3rd. Wait, we're already in August? Is it burning red? Haha, August burns red joke. However, before we jump into today's podcast, I want to thank our sponsor, I should say, Phoenix Fitness. Again, I'm happy that concerts are back. I'm happy to be back in those mosh pits, but I want to make sure I can last in those mosh pits and just go absolutely ham. So I got to make sure my body's prepared. Got to make sure I'm working out. Got to make sure I'm in shape, and got to use some vitamin supplements to make sure that I'm at the peak of my performance. And Phoenix Fitness helps me out with all that. B-Simply recovery drinks, protein, pre-workout, whatever you might need, they got it. Our listeners get 15% off their entire order by using the code MSOTD at checkout. Link description below. So thank you, Phoenix Fitness. And now on to our feature presentation. You guys were back in June when I spoke with the band BrokenRail. Yeah, that was a fun time. They told so many crazy stories about their bassist. It's Revenge of the Bassist? No! Well, Dakotah, the bass for BrokenRail, and I have just one hell of a time conversing on today's Chord Progression podcast. So get ready, because you should be. Are you ready? I am. Let's go! Yeah! Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listeners of the Chord Progression podcast, do you remember our episode with the guys from BrokenRail? Because that episode was absolutely insane, hysterical, and they told so many great stories about their bassist Dakotah, and he wasn't in the room at the time. He wasn't even on the call, so they kind of got to take their own free shots at him. However, after the episode came out, I got a message from Dakotah saying, hey man, love the episode. Now can we do one so I can set the record, share some of these stories, and also kind of get a little bit of those like fun revenge stories in there? You know my answer to that was absolutely yes. So bing, bang, boom, here we are. So please welcome to the podcast Dakotah from the band BrokenRail. So Dakotah, man, welcome to the Chord Progression podcast.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Man, I am doing A-okay. How are you? And for anyone that hears those high-pitched screams in the background, it is Dakotah's kid. So yes, please enjoy that.
It's all good. I'm sorry about that and everything. If I could give him something or whatever, I think we'd be all good and everything. But he's a 20-month-old man. It's the way the cookie crumbles on that one. But I'm doing fantastic other than, a whiny kid at the current moment in time.
But when it comes down to it, I mean, you're doing the dad thing. It's you're making sure you take care of the kid, but also work at the same time as well. I get it. You're kind of like doubling up on this stuff. However, it's a lot better to like be doing this stuff with your kid around and instead of just like kind of, being like, oh no, just go away. Because at times all of a sudden, especially when they're younger, like they can kind of potentially start to get distance a little bit and all of a sudden like, you don't want that.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, at the same time, it really kind of justifies the reason. It's like, I really am a dad and I really do care. Hey, hold on. See? Hey. His tablet's loading up, man. It's like it's a struggle for life.
I can easily understand that. I mean, I've got family that are just like we're just starting to have little kids, and all of a sudden we all get together at one point, and next thing you know, like everybody's got the little kids running around. One thing happens with one of the kids, and all of a sudden everyone starts crying. We even had one where my 2-year-old cousin was running around and literally tripped and almost went head first into this concrete mantle like in front of the fireplace. And my cousin's wife, who is the mother of the child, she just looked, she's like, I should be worried about that, but he didn't hit his head, so we're not going to the hospital. I don't have to worry about it. I'm like, all right. I can get down with that, because even though she looked at me, she said, Kevin, if there was anybody that ended up having that happen to him and then would not go to the hospital in this family, it'd be you. I'm like, well, yeah, that has happened to me. I have gotten massive cuts to the face. And I'm like, no, I don't want to go to the hospital. Most because they happen at concerts, and I'm like, it happened before the headliner. I don't want to leave yet.
It's like, dude, I wasn't ready for this, okay? Like, you just going to have to give me, 5 minutes. I got to finish what I came here to do.
Oh, God, yeah, because I had a conversation with someone today about it. It was, because I got this huge cut over my left eye when I was in the pit for after the burial. And they were the opener. Motionless and White was the headliner. It was October too, so I'm like, now this is gonna be like amped up to all hell because you get the whole entire Halloween vibe in there. And people are looking at me like, man, you should probably go to the hospital with that, like get stitches on that. I'm like, no, just give me a bunch of toilet paper. We're gonna stuff it up right there. This girl that I met at the show, she ripped up a piece of her flannel and I tied it around my eye. I looked like a pirate the rest of the show. The only thing I didn't do was jump back in the pit because I didn't want it to open back up and bleed over everybody. Yeah. But I'm like, I don't want to miss this show. And now I've got it's like a very faded scar, like right here. Kind of looks cool.
Yeah. Man, I've got a scar over, I think it's my left eye or whatever. Back when I was a kid, my parents used to be pretty bad. I mean, that comment, hey, I don't really like my laundry. Well, hey, the laundry's clean, but let's just, kind of toss it in the floor. And as a kid, I got tripped up, and dude, I literally hit the bed frame right here. I about lost my eye and everything, dude. I have a massive scar from it. Like, it was so deathly close, and I'm thankful every single day that ended up not ruining me for literally the rest of my life.
Oh God, yeah. Because if that would have just like actually caught your eye, next thing you would know, I mean, you're probably not playing bass for BrokenRail, and you're probably not going out and living the rock star dream. Also being a dad at the same point as well.
I mean, at the same time though, had I lived and that happened, dude, I would have been one badass pirate in BrokenRail. Okay, I would have had the badass eye patch. I'd have probably like a metal spike coming out of it. I just make it look awesome.
No, absolutely. It would have been. You probably could end up joining a Ailstorm at the same point as well, because you would have looked like a literal pirate.
Dude, I'm down for anything at this point, man. I mean, you guys might have to worry a little bit at that point. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. It seems like, especially from what the guys in BrokenRail, when they were telling all those crazy stories about you, it seems like the bond between all of you guys is very strong, where it's you guys are able to just consistently have fun around each other, throw those little pranks here and there, but in the end, it's all in good fun in a way.
Oh yeah, dude. Like, none of anything that we do is vindictive or sadistic or anything like that. Like, we're not trying to hurt or humiliate each other and everything. I mean, we'll do stuff like to humiliate each other and everything, like when we're by ourselves. But man, like when it's go time and everything, I mean, we are a business. Whenever it is business time, we're brothers every single second of every single day. We're also some of the best friends and sometimes the worst enemies, when days go bad, when days go great, and stuff like that. It's always the bad, horrible days that make for the best shows we've ever played in our entire lives. And it's just because we are so strong together, because each of us have so many messed up and fucked up qualities about us that as we go down the road and we write this new music and we play these songs and everything, dude, once we get up there on stage, like, we can literally all feel that anguish that like of the certain song that we wrote, and knowing that whenever we put our parts into that it's like that song's real for us, and we get up there and we do it time and time again. And dude, we'll get off, and literally when we played RockFest, playing 4 times, dude, I'm telling you, we were blasted, but it was probably the best memory I've had with the band probably since I joined, because that really proved how well we could actually be as a band to play 4 times in one day with like a 30-45 minute window break between all of them in the middle of the heat, and like out there in like Dakotah, Wisconsin, and dude, a tornado was coming through and everything, dude, and we still stuck all out. Like, dude, we literally went through hell, but we still did it.
Was that in 2019 that happened?
I believe so.
I wish you guys were playing at RockFest this year, because, well, I'm going to be in the crowd then this year. So I wish you guys would be doing that 4-show thing. Cause I know a couple of bands are doing that 4-show thing. So I'm like, I've got to catch one of their sets at least at some point. And it's like, there's like 2 or 3 of them. I'm like, man, I wish BrokenRail was on them, because that'd have been number 4.
Dude, like, we want to go back to RockFest and everything so bad. It just, for whatever reason, it just wasn't in our cards and everything like that, or just booking wasn't quite right and everything. I mean, but at the same time, with all of us coming out of this pandemic and everything, they're going to try to get the biggest, heaviest hitters, because they're trying to everybody's trying to recoup. Everybody's trying to recover and get money back. And, everybody wants to be able to get back out there and start doing everything again. So, I mean, they're going to go for the heavy hitters. It's like, hey, you could choose between BrokenRail or Godsmack. Godsmack's going to be there before BrokenRail will, just because of who they are. It's just people are going to know who they are, so they know they're going to sell tickets because Godsmack's there, or Disturbed's there, or Shinedown is there. Whoever it happens to be, they know that even just being on the bill, more people are going to be inclined to show up.
Oh, I totally understand that, because even with RockFest this year, I'm trying to think, because there were 2 headliners that ended up backing out. It was Snoop Dogg, and I can't remember who else backed out, but then they were trying to replace them with other people, and I was always curious what they were going to do. They replaced one with Danzig, and the other one was with Corey Taylor. I'm thinking, okay, you're replacing one with Corey Taylor? Yeah, that's definitely going to be a huge draw, even if he's just doing his solo stuff, because it's Corey freaking Taylor. So, yeah. It does make a lot of sense, and that was always one thing I was concerned of, especially during the pandemic, was when we come out of this, because all these different venues, all these different bands are going to want to get back out on the road, because for the venue's sake, it's they haven't had any live music from like the March of 2020 up until maybe like June or beginning of June in 2021. That's like a 14, 15 month layoff right there where you're getting no revenue coming in whatsoever. And hell, the government didn't even pass the Save Our Stage Act till December. It's like these live music venues are the ones that are hurting the absolute most because live music's gonna be the last thing to come back in all of this. Which pretty much is exactly what happened. And then for bands as well, yeah, you're basically on the shelf the whole entire time because you can't go out and play live music. Yes, you can write. Yes, you can create an album. And like you guys did, I mean, you guys came out with a brand new album, of course. So it totally makes sense. But the problem is oh shoot, now my one sec. Okay. But the biggest problem I thought was once live music comes back, especially the venues and the bands, the bigger bands are going to end up potentially throwing their weight around just because they can, and they're going to be a bigger draw than some of these. So on the festival circuit, I'm like, okay, hopefully like they have a lot of opportunity for a lot of these, more upcoming emerging acts to really have a place to perform because hell, they deserve a shot too.
Yeah. But it's always one of those things, it's all about that due process of establishing your presence and, really building that fan base and stuff like that. Like I said, as soon as like with us, like whenever we were there that year, I mean, Godsmack was on the bill, Disturbed was on the bill, Seether was on the bill, Fozzy was on the bill, like, dude, Seven Dust, like, dude, the thing was packed to the gills, man. Like, and I loved every minute of it. The fact that I got to see so many bands that I wanted to see, and I just never got the opportunity to. And then the fact that it finally happened, and I'm like, if I hadn't have been playing in this, I would still buy the tickets to have been able to come to this, or something like that. But those bands are just so big and they have such a draw and they have such an influence around the world that people will be crazy not to want to go see them. If you got 2 or 3 bands like on your bucket list that you want to see at a festival, 9 times out of 10, you're going to make that festival happen for you. And you're going to find a lot of other new bands along the way. And we've done that too. Man, there's some people that we've been on tour with that honestly, like I never even knew of, and there's some of them I did know of and everything, and I became fans of them within one show, and not just because of the people that they are, but just because of the music that they do and the kind of quality of work that they put out.
Yes, I have to agree because that's pretty much what happened with me. I went to a show in November of 2019. I wanted to go see Light the Torch. I wanted to see Howard Jones perform, which was fun as all hell, but then the headliner I listened to 2 of their songs beforehand. That was it. I saw them live, and I just basically became, like, from the live show to the actual performance, to the music, I'm like, I'm a fan of this band now from here on out, and now I've got a chance to see him, like, and honestly, in September, I get a chance to see him 3 times in 11 days.
Wow.
And I'm just like, and trust me, it's going to be horrific. And the reason I say horrific is because it's Ice Nine Kills, so I have to put the horror thing in there.
I got you.
Someone got me. But not only that, but like I get what you're saying with concerts too, because it's and like with fans as well, everyone wants to get out to live shows, especially when it comes to the bands that they love and want, like that they're really connected to. They want to see them. Of course, a festival is gonna be a perfect way to go about it, especially this year because hell, so many people have been on the shelf in 2020. You're gonna want to get out there. You're gonna want to have fun.
Yeah,
that's why I'm going to RockFest. That's why I'm going to Blue Ridge. Here in Milwaukee, we still have Summerfest, and it's just like I looked at the lineup. I'm like, the lineup for me for rock and metal, there's certain things that are there, there's certain things that aren't there, but there's one band there I'm just like, must go and see if I can. Well, I'm going to go see them, but I'm trying to also get press credentials to potentially interview them at Summerfest, so.
Who is fine to tell?
Rise Against.
Yes! Dude, no, they were at RockFest the year that we played. Dude, they blow everything out of the water. No, if there is one live band that blew me away, and I've seen so many bands live at this point now, but have you ever seen Beartooth perform live?
I saw them perform when they opened up for I Prevail and Day to Remember on the Degenerate Tour in 2019. I saw them perform, and holy shit. I've spoken about this before where the biggest injustice was that I Prevail went on after Beartooth. Then it was, I remember they should have switched I Prevail and Beartooth just because the amount of energy and just sheer power that Beartooth performed, specifically Caleb Shomo. I'm like, like I Prevail set I thought was weak, but it was because it came after Beartooth. Like Beartooth was just, it was insane. I was blown away by it. And then their new album recently dropped, and I was blown away by that as well. And I'm looking like, okay, am I getting a chance to see him this year? Boom, they're playing at Blue Ridge, and my friend's already like, dude, we're seeing Beartooth again, right? I said, yep. Yeah, I'm not even gonna like fight you on that. I'm gonna be there.
Dude, no, like what had happened is we were there for like 4 days of RockFest. They had like a Wednesday night for like a 3-day pass holders and everything. And you had Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Well, on Saturday, that's when the tornado was coming through and everything. It was coming through later on that evening. We had played that morning and everything. We'd done our 4 sets and everything. We were already blasted to shit. Like we took for 3 hours to get completely rested up and dehydrated. God forbid. Like, you know, when we were going out there and we actually knew some of the people and some of the bigger bands playing on like the B-side stage and everything. Like we, our drummer at the time actually knew like the guitarist from Through Fire, and literally 5 minutes before I go on set, their bass player literally passes out from heat exhaustion. And dude, he still gets out there and plays the show, but it puts them behind a little bit. So that puts everybody else a little bit farther behind. You know, as soon as there's even a little delay, it's going to push everything else back. Well, what had happened is the tornado was starting to come through, and dude, the sky was black and purple. The wind was whipping everywhere. And dude, I'm telling you, people from Wisconsin were running and screaming. And then and then the best part is you got the guys from Alabama and Texas literally just walking through it like we've literally seen this a million times before, because we do. I literally lived in such a bad area for tornadoes to happen. And we were going through there. We made another pavilion. Everybody was safe. You know, it came pouring down. It eventually cleared up and everything passed. Well, once all that finally got done, they started resuming the bands and everything, and Beartooth was coming on. But the thing is, though, is they decided they were going to cut their set short because people like Fozzy and Seven Dust were coming up.
Oh, okay.
So cut them short because they're higher up on the bill. So what had happened was they were supposed to play like 8 songs. They got like 3 in, and they were like, well, I mean, we're kind of getting told that we got to cut it short. But you know what? Fuck it. We're going to keep going. Dude, they kept playing. They played the next song. And dude, the crowd started erupting because they literally turned off the PA trying to get them to stop. And dude, vocals and everything cut out. Drummer was just keeping time on the hi-hat. And the crowd was singing the song back to him. And they were a cappella to the point that it got so massive and so heavy, they literally turned the PA back on and literally kept going with the song. They finished out that song, was trying to be nice. They started up the next one. Security comes on stage, picks up the bass player, gone. Picks up the other guitarist, gone. Man, lead singer was just like, dude, we're sorry. We love you guys and everything. Hopefully we'll be back, but these fuckers probably aren't going to fucking ever see us again. But we are Beartooth. We love you guys, and we will see you whenever we get to see you again. Dude, but they were literally starting to carry band members off stage, like forcefully, like literally pick them up like they were like dolls and just drag them off stage.
What I don't understand about that is when you have a band, like you just went through a whole entire tornado thing. I totally understand that. I totally understand that there's different contractual obligations. But when it comes to festival, if you've got a band that is literally driving this insane crowd energy, why wouldn't you let them keep going? Because what's going to end up happening is if you pull them off, yes, the other bands are going to get their time, and it's going to all be fine in their realm. But it's not going to be fine with both the guys from Beartooth because you're literally pulling them off stage. But the fans are going to be pissed because after a freaking tornado and storm came rolling through,
we could all died, man.
Yeah, no, not only that, but now you have this major break in the action. Energy level is down. People are just like, you got to find a way to get people back into it. And if Beartooth's going to come on, they can play one fucking song and everyone's going to be back into it. Why don't you let that keep rolling? Because then everyone's going to be into it for the rest of the night.
Dude, I'm telling you, like, I've never been a part of such a big boo in my entire life. I'm telling you, like, you could literally feel people's voices in your chest because of how loud the booing was that they were literally picking them and taking them off stage. Like, dude, I'm telling you, it about started a damn riot. And hadn't it been for somebody, I think Seven Dust or it was like Pop Evil or somebody like that was to follow them, dude, I have no doubt in my mind it would have started a full-fledged riot, dude. Like, it was getting dicey real damn quick.
Well, I mean, I don't blame it either, because especially when it comes to hard rock and metal fans, it's if you're gonna take a band off stage, like you're gonna cut them short, but they're absolutely killing it. Don't do that. That's a very bad idea because then, again, people are going to have a sour taste in their mouth and the band's going to have a sour taste in their mouth. I don't think Beartooth has come back to Wisconsin since that moment and I've looked at some of their tour dates as well, especially for this upcoming year. Yeah, they're like the close place they're coming to is, I think in Minnesota. And it's just like, I'm like, I want to see him come here to Milwaukee. I want to go absolutely fucking nuts at the rave because that's a perfect venue for him, especially if it's in the ballroom because literally it's a fucking ballroom. It's just open floor. Come on, that drives energy. It's nuts. I've been in there for crazy, like absolutely crazy times. Why would you want to kill that? Like, why would you want to kill people coming out of a freaking tornado and trying to get them back into the whole entire festival? Beartooth is the band to do it. Absolutely. The amount you can't sit still while listening to Beartooth. It's impossible. Hell, like in June I started doing this. I'm like, okay, I want to find something different to listen to when I'm doing my upper body workouts. I just want to find something different. I was listening to a lot of Hollywood Undead, but I've been doing that for the past 3 months. I'm like, okay, I want to change up a little bit. Let's go to Beartooth. Let's see what this is like. And I'm just like, I'm sticking with this for a little bit because this is fun shit.
Dude, I love like a lot of their like older stuff. I mean, I love all their new stuff and everything too, but like stuff like In Between, everybody loves that song. The Lines.
Yeah.
Hatred, and there was another one, Sick of Me, I think.
Yeah.
Or You, I believe. I don't know. I'm forgetting the name for the life of me. But I mean, like those first few albums, dude, like they grip me so hard. Like I love the new stuff and everything, but that was just sheer drive and determination and just nothing but just raw energy. Like I love early albums from bands because it is the most real that you're ever going to get from them before they started straying away to start trying to do new creative things and stuff like that. And it's the same thing with us. I mean, like we're always striving to do something new when we're trying to do something new creative. But, you know, our band sound is going to evolve every time we put out a new song, every time a new album comes out and everything like that. But those first few songs, it really gives you an idea of what their world is like. With our album and everything, dude, like you can tell that, dude, a lot of us deal with a lot of stuff on a daily basis, and it comes out through all these songs, and it's just nothing but one long journey of literally just trying to find yourself and battling your demons, battling your monsters and literally like creatures and finding things that drag you down, your vices and your virtues and everything. And you finally get through all of it. And it's just like, damn it, I'm sick and tired of this. There's something way better beyond this. And it literally leads you to that point where the end story of the whole album is I've made it past myself. Now I got to make it past everything else that's before me after this. This is all what's been inside my head. This ain't even anything out in the real world yet.
Oh, absolutely. Like, again, listening to, I brought this up with the other guys as well with when it came to Beautiful Chaos, just with how dynamic that album is. You're really going through so many different emotions, but you're bringing out different instrumentals, you're bringing out different styles and different genres within your music to really show that as well. And jumping back to the whole entire Beartooth thing as well, because I got to go into, like, with the Below album, I mean, I went through that thing cover to cover so many times when I was trying to review it, but it was just, you literally get to jump into Caleb Shomo's mind and really get to dive deep into a lot of the things that he went through. And then at the end of it, with the second last song is The Answer, you feel like, you finally like kind of understand the things that are inside you. You finally understand a little bit more of that, and you finally come to terms with a lot of it. But then they come out that last instrumental part with the last riff that's like 5 minutes long, but it really feels like, it's like you're being sucked out of it. And it's like all that blissfulness is kind of being pulled away because, yeah, you might have noticed it in yourself, but it ain't over. Like, you got to go out in the real world and deal with all this stuff and confront yourself, not within yourself, but through other people as well. And on top of that, it's going to keep coming back again and again and again and again and again. So it's just, it's ridiculous how when bands really put themselves into the music, and I mean, when you can genuinely tell they put themselves in the music, you really get to go in deep with a lot of that stuff. And I think that's where a lot of the great music comes from, is especially when bands really just dive deep into what they're feeling, what their thoughts are, what their mindset is, and just open up about it. Ooh,
it's fantastic, dude. I love like the raw material. I like it when it's just like, hey, this might not be the best thing that we put out, but it's the most real that you're probably going to get because it's the beginning ideas. It's the first things that you figure would actually work and actually sell. And it's the most real and it's the most true to you and everything. Like the first song that I actually completely fully wrote with BrokenRail was I feel so bad. It's the second song on the album. I was just making sure. Like I felt bad that I couldn't remember the order of our own album. but it's Demon in Disguise. And I've really got a tattoo of my demon that I carry around with me. I'm going to carry it with me until the day I die. And that song clicked with me so hard, and my bass line reflects that. The energy that was put into that song reflects that and everything. But that was like the first full-fledged song that I actually fully wrote and pre-recorded and pre-produced with all the rest of the guys on. And dude, that is going to be my number one song in my heart just for the way it got wrote. But honestly, you know, I can't say it's my favorite song on the album because everything else came so much naturally, like afterwards. Like, dude, I can't express the fact of how it all went and the way that the album developed that we ever could imagine it turned out the way it did. But it was probably way better than any of us could ever expected.
Well, I think the biggest truth behind that is just because you guys let this album form on its own. You guys weren't trying to force everything into it, because you can always tell when bands are trying to like force a certain sound into an album, or they're trying to force something, especially as a listener. It just doesn't necessarily feel right. It just feels like something is off. But when it came to your guys' album, when it came to Beautiful Chaos with every single song, yeah, a lot of the styles are different. You're going to get stuff that's lighter like California. Then you're going to get some heavier stuff as well in there. You're going to get some brutal stuff as well in there. But the fact of the matter is, when everything comes naturally, you're letting it flow from your own mindset. You're letting it flow from what you feel. So whatever the instrumentals are going to come out is a lot closer to the reality of what you're trying to say, instead of trying to force something else in there. Because then we really get an in-depth analysis of what you're going through, what you're thinking. And then even though we might not necessarily relate to exactly the specifics of what you're relating to, it's the way that the instrumental sound and the metaphors behind the lyrics where we take that core meaning and then put it into our own lives. And then these songs take on a whole another meaning because they mean something. They mean one thing to you. They mean something completely different to us because we've gone through different things in life. But the thing is the motion at the base is the same. And that's where we all connect with music.
And that's why, you know, I think that's why all of us really do this and everything. I know, especially speaking for myself and everything, and I think I really do speak for the rest of the guys, that, you know, we're not in this for the main, like, we're not in this for the fame. We're not in this for the money. We're not in this for the chicks. We're not in this for the glamour or the recognition or anything like that. We legitimately want to be able to relate to people and have people come back to us and be like, you literally saved me. You literally gave me something that I could relate to. You literally gave me a story that I didn't feel like anybody else could give me. You know, like for me, it was 3 Days Grace back in the day for me, the first two albums. Like Adam and all them, like when they made those albums, like the 1X album, I literally listened to that front to back all the time. And that album just cuts me so deep. But honestly, that is the band that did save my life. I had stopped myself from doing a lot of dangerous stuff when I was younger because of them. And, you know, it was just their music actually made me feel like there was a point beyond where we were, like Never Too Late, Animal I Become, Pain, like all that stuff, Riot, you know, every bit of it was just this culmination of it really sucks right now. But I promise you, it's literally a fleeting moment. It's going to pass. You're going to make it through it, you know, and it's one of those things that at the end game, you know, especially Never Too Late, you're literally looking to a potential permanent solution to a temporary issue. And that has stuck with me, and it has hit me so hard every single day. And that is the best way that, honestly, for me, I can fight my own depression and my own mental battles, is that this stuff is going to go away. It's going to take time. It's going to hurt like hell. But it's going to go. But that doesn't mean you have to.
Oh, God, I completely agree with that. And the thing is there's a lot of people that agree with that as well. But the only thing that changes is the band or the bands or the type of music that like helped us do that. I mean, for me, like it was 2017. I was going through a mass amount of depression. And the only thing I was listening to at the time was like this second half of the year. Only thing I was listening to at the time was Skillet, Older 30 Seconds to Mars. And then I was listening to Rise Against, but I wasn't listening to any of the old stuff. I was only listening to the Wolves album because what caused my, like a lot of stuff that was causing my depression, I had bad memories now associated with a bunch of my favorite songs from Rise Against. I didn't want to listen to them. However, Wolves had just come out, so I'm like, I don't have anything associated with that. So it kind of helped me like hang on to that. But when things were starting to go real bad, I'm like, I got to change this up somehow. And my first thought was, I got to take my favorite band back. Like, I got to get this back. I went to go see him live. I'm like, okay, by myself, I'm like, let's just see if this works. From the first note, from the first riff of the first song, I felt like I was back. And that's why I connect with it so well, is because it's like, even though it's like I listen to music, but it makes me feel like myself. So whenever I get into a situation where I want to just like something's not going right and not feeling myself, I want to just get that like feeling back of who I am. I listen to Rise Against all the time because it just brings me right back to who I am, what makes me happy. It was like, okay, now I'm doing fine. Now I'm doing good. Can't beat this.
Dude, it's one of those things that music has a hold on people that they honestly just can't ever describe. There's always going to be something. There's always going to be a band. There's always going to be a song that you just relate to in a way that you can't explain to anybody else, and that you don't have to justify anybody else to be like, look, this song does something for me. And honestly, if you like it or not, I mean, that's just the way it is, man. Like, it resonates and it makes me feel better. And that's all that should matter. But not everybody's going to get that same exact idea from that same exact song. And that's what makes music so beautiful. And that's why so many people can come together, because everybody's so different. Everybody lives so many different lives and everybody goes through so much different shit. But you literally find one common band that all these different people from all different walks of life will literally get in a room for an hour, hour and a half, and literally just listen and just get lost. And that is literally the most beautiful thing on the face of the planet to me.
And that's why we need live shows back. And that's why I'm glad they're back as well, just because during this time from the pandemic that we were in, and we missed out on all those live shows, we missed out on that connection with so many, especially from rock and metal standpoint, we missed out on this connection with so many people that have so many different mindsets, come from so many different backgrounds, have so many different ideologies when it comes to politics, religion, life, whatever it might be. And it's like if you get all those people together in a room in some normal kind of setting, like just like in a random room, like put them in a bar, yeah, there's probably going to be like just because, I don't know why, but there might be some problems. But you put them in a room, you put them in a concert, and they all positively connect with the band that's on stage. Nothing else matters except the fact that we're here, we're all connecting that band positively, and that's all that matters.
Right, dude. I mean, it's the culmination of the idea that literally everybody can literally forget all their bullshit long enough to literally enjoy it. And then once you go back out those doors, man, or you leave the fair, like the grounds, whatever the case may be, man, it's like you're back in it and it sucks ass. But for just a moment, just for that big fleeting moment, you actually were at peace and you actually didn't look at somebody next to you and be like, what the fuck are you? Like, you're like, dude, just because you love this band, you are my friend now. You know, I've met so many people like that and everything. Like, I love local shows. I love going to underground shows more than anything, man, because like the big shows and everything are great, but that real close, intimate feeling and the fact that you can feel the band and they can feel you because there's not as many people, and you'll like not ever think you'll even talk to anybody that was in that venue. By the time you come out, you've already made 5 new friends just because you guys like the same band or you're there supporting your friends in a band or something like that. And the underground scene is just, it's different. You know, everything has its own perks and everything has its own cons. But if I had my preference about it, I'd rather play like smaller ballrooms and stuff like that, just because the intimacy and just the fact that they can feel us and we can feel them better.
No, yeah, like the best shows I've seen ever have been those ballroom settings, just because it's everyone's close together. But if the band is going absolutely nuts and then the fans end up following suit, it is just crazy. Like, again, when I come on for that After the Burial show and then Motionless in White went on, After the Burial had everyone so amped up that when Motionless in White came out, I mean, they came out ready to roll, but they were not ready for what that crowd was going to be like. So they ended up upping their game by like scrapping a good amount of songs from their like the first half of their set and replacing with a lot of songs they put out on the Creatures album. Because of how crazy the crowd was. It's like, okay, we got to up our game because these people are going nuts. So all of a sudden they start playing, all of a sudden they jump right into Immaculate Misconception in the second song. You're like, this doesn't really come till later. And they jump into Abigail. They jump into like, trying to think, there's a couple, there's like 2 others they jumped into. We're like, holy shit, what the hell's going on here? Then they played, then all of a sudden they jump into Code. It was the first time they ever played that song live and it wasn't even planned. I'm just like, you guys literally in the first 6 songs have played 4 off of your initial album, 1 you have never played, and then the lead single from your last album. And we still haven't even touched like a good amount of like the massive hits yet. What the actual hell? Like, this is freaking awesome. And it was just, that's when you know that's like when you really get that setting of fans are so into it and everyone's connecting. And it's like with those shows, like everyone seems like, oh yeah, you look at it from an outside perspective. Oh my god, the mosh pit, it's so scary. People are fighting each other. No. People are having so much fun in there. And I always tell this to everybody, it's like, oh my god, they're crazy. I'm like, no. That's probably like one of the best places to be, because there are these unspoken rules or these unwritten rules, but everybody knows them. And people ask me, what's the most primary rule? I'm like, if you see someone knocked down, you pick their ass back up.
Yeah. Man, you don't leave your brother on the ground, man. You go over there and pick him or her up, whoever the case may be. Because the girl, man, stop everybody around them, make sure she's okay. And if she says, you go.
Oh God, yeah. I miss that's why I miss my concert family too. I don't even know these people's names. But I know I've seen them at every single show, and it's just I see them. We get in a mosh pit together. It's absolutely nuts. And yeah, there's some girls that get in there as well. All of a sudden they get knocked down, and like pretty much people like form a circle around them just to make sure they're okay, help them up, and all of a sudden now boom, we're ready to roll. Right when they're back on their feet, it's like, okay, game on. I've even seen some crazy ones where this is the craziest thing I've ever seen. This is actually at a Rise Against pit. Guy loses his glasses. They get knocked off in the pit. Picks them up, and the lenses are popped out. All of a sudden, everyone notices. Some guy yells, "Stop!" Everyone stops, backs up to give like this 30-foot wide circle. And the guy that yelled "Stop" and the guy with the glasses, they're on their hands and knees trying to see if they can potentially find this guy's lenses. I shoot, and I was like 15 seconds. They found both of them. The guy popped them in. He just had this like massive circle here. He was in the middle, popped them in, put his glass on. He just said, "Okay." Boom. Everyone was right back in. I'm just looking. I'm like, okay, that is absolute. That is like controlled chaos at its finest. Where we're chaotic, we're going nuts, but we're all just getting into the music. It is something. It's like a religious experience in a way, because there's times where I jump in the pits. I'm like, I'm a little nervous to jump in the pit for the first time because I haven't been in one for a while. If I get nervous like that, I'll tell the person next to me, "Hey, push me in." Why? Just throw me in, and they'll push me in. I'll get leveled by some like 275-pound, 300-pound guy. Get laid on my back, and all of a sudden like get picked up like, "You good, man? We got knocked out of me. Are you ready?" Dude, you have no idea like how ready I am after that, and I'm set for the rest of the show. Like, you can't break my energy at that point.
Dude, that's literally fantastic, dude. You got to imagine the amount of immense power that guy felt in that moment where he's just like, "Bring it on, let's do it."
Mm-hmm.
Game over at that point, man. That is literally somebody having a real life video game controller and who hit the pause button and said, "Unpause, game over."
Pretty much. But when one thing I'm looking forward to, especially again with all the festivals coming out, again, I wish you guys were on that RockFest, Bill, because I know on that Wednesday, because I looked at it, and of course we're shooting this before the RockFest. It might come out after RockFest the way it looks, but that first night they've got this band called Modern Mimes that's playing. Right after them is Stitched Up Heart, and they have Royal Bliss right after. I've interviewed all three of those bands. I'm like, I want to, like, if there's a chance we can hang out later, and we're camping out there. So you guys, I literally told them, just show up. We'll have the coolers ready. You guys want a beer? You guys want something to drink? Come hang out with us. Beer's on me. Because I always say after the podcast, first round's on me. I already promised the other guys in BrokenRail that first round's on me, and that already extended to you. So yeah.
Well, I think at this point, by the time I end up finishing my stories, I think I deserve 2 because I got tortured. Okay.
That is definitely true. So I feel like we got to like torture the other guys at the same point as well with some of these crazy stories, because they told a couple of really good ones around you.
Oh God. Well, it's hard because Aaron was the only one who didn't hit me really. He just kind of elaborated. He didn't really make it worse. But Blake and Dave, man, they threw me so hard. So I've got to throw them a little bit to the wind at this point. I just got to.
Yes. Because Blake and Dave were just flying with all these crazy stories about their crazy bass Dakotah. And Aaron was the guy that was just like, okay, this is kind of just adding to it a little bit more, adding a couple more context. He really didn't come up with anything super duper big. So unless you got something just like at a story where all of a sudden it's like, okay, I got to throw Aaron a little bit of shade because in an added context way. Totally understand. But remember, because I talked to the guys beforehand as well, from Blake, Dave, and Aaron, like all the stories they told about you, it's like, yeah, that's all crazy stories and whatnot, but you guys are brothers in this. They completely, like, you guys are like super duper tight with this, where you guys wouldn't be having so much fun with this if you guys didn't like each other. Like, it's clear that you guys are brothers in this all.
Dude, we love each other, man. Like, we could literally hang out every single day and stuff, and we might get mad. We might throw a punch or two or threaten to, but at the end of the day, it all ends up shaking out and everything and stuff, you know, and none of us really mean it. I mean, it's like, it was really hot. It was really bad. Like, you know, we smell bad. Like, it's just, we're frustrated. We're hungry, you know, like there's so many things that get wrapped up into like, you know, if you got a 7-hour drive and you got all this stuff just building and building and building, and then eventually one of us just kind of snaps, the other one's going to come, and then the third, fourth is going to start chiming in, and then eventually everybody's going to pretty much just be losing it for a minute, and it's like, look, man, sorry, you know, go have a few drinks and everything and really kind of get yourself back in a good headspace, man. And after that, it's just like we've never been stronger after that and everything. It's just because at that point, we've literally, you know, we put everything out on the table, and then it's just like we usually have like one good fight, like usually about like maybe every 2 years or something like that. It's very sparing. It really is. Like other than, you know, like little bitty things, but you know, we really don't just constantly fight. I mean, we're like the married couple that's lasted for about a good 3 or 4 years. You know, like we have some decent spouts and everything, but we really don't go hard and heavy with them and everything. But yeah, there ain't really much I can really throw Aaron under the bus intentionally, because he didn't do that to me, so I'm not going to do that to him and everything. But I do have a very funny story from him, and then I do have a hilarious story about Blake, and I will give you a follow-up to the muffin story and how I got Dave back.
All right, I gotta hear some of these because I am absolutely ready. You know, I should have had popcorn for this, honestly.
Well, so I've given you a little bit of context on all three of them. So you tell me, do you want Aaron's, do you want Blake's, or you want Dave's?
Well, how about we start with Aaron, just because when it comes to Aaron, I feel like that's going to be potentially the shortest one. But then you said like Blake's kind of leads into the muffin story, which then leads into more Dave's story. So let's kind of go from top to bottom on that one. So I got to start with Aaron. So what's this Aaron story you got? Because, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Well, I love the guy to death. Like me and him clicked from day one and everything. And the guy's just hilarious. He's just a really great guy, honestly. Like he's just like a big teddy bear, honestly. I love the guy to death. He looks intimidating, but he's like really like, if there's anybody that I want in my corner, that if I didn't have the option of the rest of the guys, Aaron would be my number one pick. Like he would stand by you day in and day out. Doesn't matter if you were right or wrong. He would support you 100%. But we met him and everything. He got part of the band. We went on tour and everything. Well, we're on the road, and this is actually a little bit of a two-parter. I got to apologize for that, but it is a little bit of a two-parter. But it's good because Aaron is like, when he gets in business mode outside of the band stuff and everything, he used to be like a manager, like a, what? Gas Monkey. I was almost forgetting the name, but like the Gas Monkey, like the Gas Monkey out in Texas and everything. And like going to these different bars and everything, and like, you know, best bartenders and everything, and just, you know, management and everything. And he just has such a high standard when it comes to dining and stuff like that, because he's literally been and worked at some of the biggest ones in the nation, you know, and some of the ones that are the most respected. So we're literally going through, and we're down in Florida, and we're down from Florida for about 3 days doing 2 or 3 shows. I think we had one off day. And dude, we were blasted. You know, we're tired already. You know, this is probably about a week into our tour with Raven Black and Avalith. And we're down there. And we were going to some steak and shakes and stuff like that, just whatever was open. And we went to a steak and shake at, I think it was like in Fort Lauderdale, Florida or something like that. And it was great. We had fun. There was like nobody there. They took great care of us and everything. We had a great time, and it was fantastic. And we just happened to go like 4 hours north to another show in Florida, and we landed another damn steak and shake. Okay, well, we just had a great experience, so why not do it again? Man, we roll up in there, and this shit is like heavier than Sunday morning after church gets out. Like they are slammed. But they had all hands on deck. So we're like, okay, well, I mean, they're pretty busy, but they've got a lot of people, so it shouldn't be a problem. Man, I'm telling you, it took 25 minutes to get a menu.
To get a freaking menu?
To get a menu, just to even figure out what we want. So that already started making a lot of us upset, and we were already tired and like hungry. We're just like, it's whatever, we'll get through this. You know, we need to get food. It doesn't matter what costs anymore. We just got to make this happen. So we make it happen. We get the menus. We finally get everything. The server, kind of an ass, can't lie. I mean, they were just kind of rude and made it seem like we were the idiots, you know, in this whole situation and stuff. And we get through everything. But, dude, I'm telling you, by the time we ordered our food, we'd already been there for 2 hours before we saw any bit of food. Aaron's comes out last.
Oh, dear God.
And I always get this mixed up, and he's going to bash me for it. And I know he is at least vegetarian, but I want to say he might be potentially vegan, but I'm almost 99% sure he's actually vegetarian. He does not touch meat at all. But so we get the food and everything, and obviously it's going to take a little bit more for him or whatever, because his has got to be a little bit more special and everything, because, you know, he has a little bit more restrictions, and we're at Steak and Shake of all places. And we finally get through, we get our food and everything. Everything's good. And, dude, everything started going wrong. Like, the food was undercooked. It was horrible. The service was getting worse. Like, we were running out of drinks. Like, I'm telling you, dude, like, at one point, I'm telling you, I looked over and every single one of us had an empty glass, and we were all going, like, hello. Like, nobody did a damn thing. Aaron got pissed. He got so pissed. He's like, but he's passive aggressive. And he's like, hey, you know, I'll be back. Hey, you okay? No, yeah, I'm good. I'll be back and everything. He finds the server and brings him over there. And it's like, hey, we haven't had drinks. This is the shittiest service. The food is horrible. Like, everything's undercooked. Like, nobody got what they needed or anything like that. Where's your MOD? He started speaking lingo. Like, who's your manager on duty and where are they? I need to know right now. Dude, we found the guy, and there was only one manager there that night. Dude, we came up to him and everything, and Aaron started talking to him, and he literally lit him up. And, dude, I really saw this guy's face go from like in a matter of seconds. Dude, he was lighting him up. He literally walked up. So you're the MOD, right? And he was like, oh, shit. Like, this guy knows, dude. He lit him up and down the other side. Dude, we had like an $80 bill, and it got knocked all the way down to like $23, and we all walked free. Dude, as we were leaving, we literally saw that manager outside smoking like 2 cigarettes at once. Dude, he was literally losing his mind. He was double fisting cigarettes.
Jesus Christ. Oh, my God. I have to talk to Aaron next time and be like, dude. I remember talking with him. He's like, because he was the one that spoke the least. He was the most quiet. Definitely got the feeling like, you know, he's the most calm. But I do know that like at times, all of a sudden, you get people that do have that more passive aggressive tendency, where when things go really, really wrong, it just all comes out in this massive fury. And because I went to school in college, I was up in Minnesota, and they always have that classic like Minnesota nice thing where it's like everyone's kind of nice, but I don't know why. It's like everyone, like, if they're angry up there, they're all passive aggressive angry.
Yeah.
But I've seen
like
some like massive blow ups, and it's just, I even had one of those massive blow ups too, because I was sitting out my junior year, I'm sitting out the balcony, and all of a sudden, like, I start seeing like water dripping down from the upper balcony. I'm like, what the hell's going on? There are 2 guys peeing out of my balcony while I'm standing out there.
Oh, hell no.
I came back inside pissed off as all hell. Pun intended, because yes, it was piss. And I'm like, dude, I tell my friends, like, dude, they really pissed off the balcony, and it like landed on me. They're like, my friend's like, oh man, what are you gonna do? And they're like, oh man, you're gonna write it, like what are you gonna do about it? And I said, I'll show you what I'm gonna do about it. I walked out the door, went upstairs, because they were the unit right above us, so it was the exact same room number, except it was like, because they always have like the floors as the first digit. So I said to go to one more up, and I knew the exact number. I started pounding on the door, and I'll say, oh shit, it's the cops. I'm like, no, it's the guy from downstairs. Open the fucking door. And here come my friends. They're like, Kevin, get the fuck away from them. They're like, no, I'm pissed. Guy opens the door, drunk as all. He's like, what's going on, man? I'm like, okay, who was just on the balcony pissing? He's like, why? Why do you care? I'm like, because I was downstairs. I was in the balcony below. They just peed on me, and I'm going to go kick their fucking ass. And the guy's like, dude, I'd be mad too, but no one's peeing out there. And I was talking to him for like 2 minutes maybe. And he's like, man, I'll ask and see if anyone peed off the balcony. I'm like, dude, I'm so pissed off at you. I'm going to beat your ass too.
Dude, it's like, I'll take a survey real quick. Just make sure nobody pissed in the last 20 seconds.
Yeah, and I'm like, I know someone did, because there's no way in hell from when it happened to the 30 seconds it took me from like when it first happened to me to start pounding on your door. There's no way those guys walked out. I'm like, there's no way. So I know they're in there, and I'm fired up. I'm ready to kick some ass. I had a baseball bat on the side too, because I was just ready to roll. Then all of a sudden, two of my friends come up. One of them grabs the baseball bat, so I don't do anything stupid, and the other one just like, dude, Kevin, just forget about it, man. Just forget about it. And I left just because my friends were like, just not. It wasn't worth it. But I'm still fucking livid about that, man. So I can see where Aaron's coming from, where it's like when it just like everything like just you get that one moment, and it just sets you off completely.
Right, dude. That's insanity, dude. I would be. Yes, dude. No, that is like on the level of me with the muffin story at the tail end of it, dude. Like, but at the same time, they were my friends and they were my brothers, so I wasn't actually gonna hurt them. But dude, like, I was like waking the sleeping giant, dude. Like, literally waking the demon was playing in my head the moment I woke up.
Oh, Jesus fuck.
But dude, it was getting bad. But on the kind of part two, that little story is like after Steak and Shake, it was like 2 or 3 nights later, and like we gone up to like North Carolina or something like that, I think, South Carolina, somewhere around that area. And we were going by and we were trying to find food again. God forbid, the biggest struggle for a band on the road is trying to find food after you get out of your set and get all done with your shows and you're already piss poor drunk. And you're like, man, it's like 4 a.m. There's somewhere that's got to be open. Dude, we go through somewhere where they have no nightlife at all. And we find a Taco Bell. And Taco Bell is really good if you want to eat cheap and a lot of it, in a pretty decent manner. And so we're rolling through there and the sign still set open. There were still people, but there was this girl outside with a headset on talking to this guy in a car. And we're like, okay, well, I guess it says open. We're going to go to the damn drive-thru. We roll up and we sit there for like a good 5 minutes. Hello. Hey. Oh, sorry. We're closed. But your sign says open. I told y'all we were closed. And dude, I'm talking like, it was bad, like the way that she came across. And dude, we made it like 2 minutes down the road. Aaron's like, he's like scrolling on his phone. And I think it was either me or Dave were sitting close to him. It's like, what are you doing, man? Like, what's up? He's like, I'm about to give those fuckers a call. Dude, this guy literally turns around, gets him on the phone, puts him on speakerphone, be like, and she picked up, yeah, this is Taco Bell. Hey, are you guys open? Actually, yeah, we are open and everything. Drive-thru's still open. Well, we just came through and everything. Well, yeah, I told y'all we would close, but your sign says open, you dumb motherfucker, and clicks and hangs up on her, but Lily screams at her. We called the next 3 nights, 3 o'clock in the morning. Didn't matter if it was her or not, cussing them out night after night. We were 3 states away by the time the 3rd day came around, and we were still calling them, cussing them out.
Oh my God.
Dude, it was great. Your sign still says open, you dumb motherfucker. Click. Dude, it was literally like the funnest thing on the face of the planet, dude. It was so much fun. But coming off that and everything, Blake's is more like a humiliating, like a guilty pleasure. It's not as bad as, liking like Lady Gaga or something like that and being a complete metalhead and all that stuff and everything. But his is more on the fact that it was my first tour with him and everything back in 2017. We were on the road with NVIDIA and All Hell the Yeti. And we're out there and we're hanging out. And we always do like this kind of co-pilot system. Like we'll have, at that time we had 6 guys actually riding together. We had one guy who actually tried to drive for us most of the time and he'd be the mechanic, but obviously he has to get some rest too. And then we had all 5 guys in the band. So we would have one guy that would actually pilot. We'd have somebody stay as a co-pilot and stay awake with them to make sure that they keep up and, make sure for directions, whatever they need or whatever. And then everybody else would usually crash or get some sleep in the back. And we'd rotate. And I just happened to be up with Blake. And me and him were rolling through. And dude, we were out in like the middle of Montana and everything. And it was literally like Route 66 was not far from us at all. I mean, it's, it's iconic and everything. And dude, we were just sitting there making small talk and everything. And we stopped somewhere and we got some gas. And I'm allergic to cinnamon, and they found that out the hard way. I took a shot of Fireball at a show, and dude, I about died. I literally did. I literally was on the stage shivering. I was about to collapse. It was horrible. So Blake goes in there, and I go in there with him and everything. Everybody else is getting like a piss break and stuff, grabbing like some snacks and some drinks and stuff. And Blake is rolling through, and he just gets this whiff, and I do too. And dude, it makes me sick to my stomach. But I look over, and it's fucking Cinnabon of all things. And Blake's like, ooh. And I was like, don't you fucking do it. And he literally bought, like, dude, this Cinnabon was like this big, dude. It was a monster of a Cinnabon. And he bought it and everything. We went back out to the van. I've got the picture on my phone, and that's the only saving grace he has to this story is the fact that nobody can see the look of sheer just pleasure on his face of eating that Cinnabon at like 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, driving for 6 hours, and he just looks over at me, and I get this picture of like Cinnabon like oozing out of his mouth and just everything, and it was just nothing but hilarity. It's been his profile picture for him ever since.
Okay, I gotta, because I'm friends with Blake on Facebook. I gotta look this up now. I gotta see his picture.
Dude, no, honestly, I'm gonna have to send it to you, and you're gonna have to promise to never send it out, because literally he's like, if you send that to anybody, I'm gonna fucking kill you. It's not on the internet. Like, it's that bad.
It's that bad. Oh, is it because like all the it's because all the like the frosting they put on there, it looks like it's like oozy. Okay, that makes sense.
No, dude, he literally looked like a kid on Christmas morning that just had the biggest bite out of something and couldn't handle it. Like, he literally had Cinnabon still sticking out of his mouth and just looked at me like, dude, I'm telling you, like, I'm just gonna have to like let you see a little snippet of it or just send it to you and just hope and pray that Blake just doesn't lose his shit. But dude, I'm telling you, once you get the image in your head, you can't forget that shit, dude. Like, whenever he saw that had his profile picture, he's like, are you fucking kidding me? And I was like, it's staying on there for the rest of your lifetime, man. Get used to it.
Alrighty, because whenever I talked to Blake, because he was saying that I should come down to Dallas and hang out with you guys for a while. So I'm like, You know what? When that time comes, not an if, it's a when that time comes, I might ask him, like, hey, can I see that Cinnabon picture? He's gonna look at me, how the fuck oh yeah, Dakotah's podcast with you, that's right. I'd be like, can I still see it?
Dude, it is a sight to behold. It is fantastic. I loved every minute of it and everything, and I always give him shit about it and everything, but love that picture to death and spread it around on him and everything. You know, I've let a few people see it, but I haven't actually sent it out, so it's not out there to the masses. It's not going to hit the internet quite just yet. It might after this podcast. I'm not sure. It depends on how bad they try to backlash me after this one's over with.
Probably not too bad, honestly, because I remember this was, might have been 8 years ago, because here in Wisconsin at the state fair, we have cream puffs. So it's just like, you got this like light, fluffy bread, and you have a bunch of whipped cream in the middle of it. Yeah. And it's like basically like a sandwich. And I decided when I was 18 years old, I'm going to eat this whole entire thing in one bite. That was a very, very, very poor choice, because I put this whole thing in my mouth and I'm like trying to chew it, and all of a sudden, as I'm like trying to like chew this thing and just trying to eat it, you start seeing the whipped cream like ooze out of the side of my mouth. Someone did get a picture of it. I have not seen it to this day. I know it's somewhere. I know the person who has it. She will not tell me if she still has it or not, but I know at some point, somewhere down the line, I'm going to end up seeing on Facebook that this girl, her name's Kelsey, she'll tag me in this picture. I'm just going to see, I'm going to say, oh no. But it's not going to be like oh no, like, oh, I can't, like, this is horrible. It's going to be like that, oh no, not this again.
Dude, that is just pure devastation at that point.
Well, especially with people making memes and they can Photoshop literally anything. I'm like, the fact there's whipped cream coming out of the corners of my mouth, people can imply that with anything they want. I'm like, oh no, here we go again. Yeah.
But so aside from the humility, aside from the fact of Aaron just, really sticking up for the boys and, having a high standard, Dave just got what he deserved.
Alrighty, how did Dave get what he deserved, especially after that muffin story?
Okay, so on my side of it, man, like, we had a long day. There was a lot of fighting. There was a lot of fussing and everything. There was alcohol. Everything was involved. It was just a rough day, man. We had a good show and everything, but we were just driving, and something was said, about the Creed thing with Blake and everything, dude. And he slammed the laptop. And tension started rising quick, and a lot of shit was being thrown around, and they were wanting to get really they were wanting to get pretty drunk and everything, but I'd spent a lot of hours driving that day too. And I think I was actually the last one to drive on that. So, dude, I was just blasted at that point, dude. I was like, I need some sleep, dude. Like, I don't think you understand. And they're like, okay, well, if you're going to bitch out first, then you're going to get the caught. I was like, I don't care. I just need to have somewhere to lay my damn body right now. I don't care. So I laid on the damn cot and everything, and I had a hard time actually going to sleep. It was one of those things that I was that close to getting up, and then about that time I fell asleep. Like, I was so close. I was like, man, I just feel bad that I'm not out there hanging out with them and everything, you know, and working through all this shit. But I didn't. I ended up falling asleep inevitably. So I'm asleep. Everything's fine. I hear boom, 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 boom. Like, they literally come stomping through the hallway, drunk, piss off their ass. Dude, they come barreling in there. Dude, I literally feel like a rock hit me in the teeth. Dude, I'm telling you, like, it was like a machine gun fire. Like, literally, I got pelted with 2 or 3, like, one after the other. It was like cheek, got a little pissed, got another one literally in the side of the face. And as I look, I literally get one straight in the eye, dude. Like, it was nothing but just a rapid fire, dude. And, like, Dave came in there and started wrestling with me and everything. And, dude, like, he got, like, once I was able to get up out of the cot and everything, dude, I'm telling you, waking the demon, dude, I'm telling you, I got up and I literally tackled Dave so hard. I was trying to hit the bed. Dude, we almost, like, went out the damn window, like, on the balcony. I almost put him through the glass. Like, we literally happened to manage to hit the floor. Had the bed not actually skewed our direction, I would have put him through the window. I literally just tackled him and put him to the floor, dude. And, dude, everybody was crying. Dude, like, I was so beyond pissed. It has been so many years since I'd been that pissed. And, dude, I just saw red because I was exhausted. I was tired. They were pissed. And I was, you know, I was the only sober one. So that was the deal. You know, had I been drunk, think about that. Okay. Had I been drunk, okay, I was sober, but I was just asleep and I needed the rest. And I literally gut checked him. I was Bill Goldberg. Okay. I literally put him in the floor, dude. And, dude, at the same time, I've seen him wrestle around with our old drummer too. Dude, literally him and all of us went out and we got drunk one night. And we were out in Auburn. And we were walking by a bank or something like that. And him and the drummer out of nowhere just literally start wrestling. Dude, I'm telling you, it was like 4 or 5 in the morning where like the dew is starting to get on the grass and everything. And it's really wet. Dude, I'm telling you, by the time they got up from wrestling, they were really soaked like they had been in the shower for the last 15 minutes. They were wrestling, putting each other in headlocks, leg locks. Like literally Dave picked up Alex and body slammed him on the ground. Dude, Dave, I love him to death. And Dave, I do love you. I do love you very much. But the guy and alcohol do not mix.
Oh, dear God. Just thinking about the wrestling stuff, too. It honestly, it doesn't surprise me in the slightest because there have been times with a group of my friends, we'll do, we haven't done this in a couple of years, but this was I think back in 2018, last time we did this. We really just brawled. So what we did was we had someone's living room and we moved all the furniture to the side and there's like 11 or 12 guys there. We literally held Fight Club. And the thing was like, if you want to fight someone, just go and fight them. But we had like 3 rules. And it was, rule number 1 is anybody can stop the fight at any given time. So if someone's getting if someone wants to give up, they can stop. If someone's just tired, they can give up. But if, say, someone gets knocked out and all of a sudden the other person keeps going, but someone in the crowd sees, like, if one of our friends sees, it's like, holy shit, that guy got hurt. We got to stop this. Yeah, we can call it right then and there.
Yeah.
2 guys. The second rule was only 2 guys to a fight. That's it. We're not doing a full entire thing. But the third thing was, once the fight is over and the next one begins, whoever wins that last fight has to go to the kitchen, get 2 beers, come back, and you have to sit with the person you just fought with and drink a beer while the next 2 guys fight. So,
dude, that is some massive tension, my dude.
Well, no, the whole entire thing was like, if you had, like, we're all friends, but it's like, if you had any sort of like little beef with somebody, now's the time to put it out there. And not gonna lie, all of a sudden, like, after about like the first 2 fights, everyone was super duper into it because it's like, you saw what happened. It was like, okay, 2 guys that had something that was just not going right. It was like they were fighting over a girl or something. They literally fought it out. And then they're watching the next 2 guys like fight over something else that's stupid. But these other 2 guys that just fought, they're drinking a beer and they're laughing hysterically. They're it's like we're all good friendly. I'm like, yeah, we just need to punch it out a little bit. Then all of a sudden, a couple of guys' girlfriends come and they're like, "What the hell are you guys doing?" I'm like, "We're brawling. Shut up." Yeah. And that's when my buddy Ross got a huge concussion. I'm like, oh no, I'm pretty sure that's it for this then.
The number one rule about Fight Club, you don't talk about Fight Club. Number 2, you forget Fight Club.
Yeah, that was his second one. He definitely forgot Fight Club. I brought it up to him because he met me at that one show with Beartooth and Dane. Remember, I brought it up to him. He's like, dude, I don't even fucking remember that night until, like, I remember starting the fight, but I don't remember anything after. I'm like, yeah, dude, you got knocked hard.
You got knocked the fuck out.
I even had some times too where all of a sudden, like, my best friend and we were at a friend's house, and all of a sudden we found they had boxing gloves in their basement. So he literally threw a pair of me. He's like, put them on, let's go. Okay, I'm not thinking twice about this. I'm like, all right, Alex, let's go. So we start boxing, and like about 2 minutes in, I throw a hook, and he ducks it, but I'm like kind of leaning over him, so he stands up, picks me up, flips me over, and I land like head first on the bottom step, and my neck kind of like cracks over. I'm like, oh shit! At the end of that, he took out the gloves, like, oh my god, dude, you okay? I'm just like, honestly, I actually think I am. Can we be done with this boxing thing now? I don't want to have to go through that shit again. He's like, we good? Yeah, we good. Took off the gloves, threw him over. We each went, grabbed a drink, and that was it.
Wow. Dude, that sounds... Honestly, we might benefit from something like that once in a while.
You really do, because it's kind of like this like massive like tension relief moment, no matter who it is. Like with you guys in the band, it's like you said, like you guys have these little spats here and there. You might have that one like gigantic fight every like 2 years. But what ends up happening is like, you give it like another like a day or two, everyone cools down. It's like, holy shit, like all that kind of tension, all that any kind of like anger that might have been building up, all that's out there now. It's gone. Like it's all out there. And in the moment, yeah, it seems kind of ruthless. Like you guys are beating up on each other, but you know what? You look at the end of it and you guys feel like you're relaxed. It's like, okay, this is good. We're fine. We're doing fine.
Good. We're good. Wow, dude, that is literally just insanity. I couldn't ever imagine even coming up with that idea, let alone following through with it.
It was the idea that we literally came up with on the spot too. Where it's like, let's just fucking do this. And we're like, okay, fuck it. Who cares?
We're gonna do this. Just trust me. Just trust me. We're gonna make this happen. It's gonna work.
And I'm thinking about it now with like everyone that was involved in that. I'm like, would this really happen now? And I'm like thinking, out of the 12 of us that were in there, I think 11 of the guys that were in there are currently in relationships or engaged, and no one's married yet, but we're getting close to that point. It's like everyone's in a serious relationship except for one person. I'm like, and then there's that one person saying, "Can we do this again?" Because that one person is me, and I really want to go and brawl again. I really miss it. It was so much fun the first time we did it.
You're just the one guy. It's just like, look, nobody wants to do that. I do.
That's pretty much what it's like. Yeah, man, no one wants to do this. And it's like me. I'm like, yeah, I still do. And the last time I said that, they looked at me and said, Kevin, you just want to do this because you miss mosh pits. Because this was back in 2020. Like, you just miss mosh pits. You just want to get hit by somebody. I'm like, you're not wrong.
Be like, look, man, it's either you or it's a moving train. You got to take your pick at this point.
Well, I was over at friends. I was like, it's either you or the wall. Like, well, what should we do here?
Oh, man.
I think all of a sudden we started playing like Boom Cup or something after that. And then we just started get like, everyone was just screaming at each other while we were playing Boom Cup. But it was nothing where it was like, everyone was mad. But of course, we're playing like pop punk in the background. So everyone's still having a great time.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm like, yeah, man, I already missed those days. Even though it was like, this, because now, again, it's life changes. Everyone's starting to like go in different directions. I'm still doing all the music. Like, I'm going my own direction. But it's like, man, I still miss those times where we just move all the furniture to the side and just start beating up on each other. It was a fun time. I miss that.
Oh, dude, that literally sounds fantastic. It's like I forgot, me and the old drummer and everything, like we were just like doing this running joke, but dude, I literally think at one point we were really going to do it. We were doing like AFC 1 or whatever, and it was like me versus the drummer at the time, our drummer Alex. Like, dude, me and him were about to have like a UFC fight just for shits and giggles. Like, we were literally about to start promoting it and everything through the band page and stuff. Like, it wasn't just a made up thing. Like, we were starting to make flyers, dude. This shit was becoming real.
You guys could have gone to like Rough and Rowdy or something.
Well, I mean, it wasn't like the fact that we hated each other or anything like that. It was just like, I think we need to do this. Like, honestly, we were just like, dude, this would be a great money maker. Be like, honestly, I just think this would be a great content piece for all the fans out there to see the bass player and the drummer just go at it full contact.
The only thing is, can we have Dave as the ring card girl?
Oh god, damn Della Dave.
We need your drummer to be we need Aaron to be reffing. We need Dave to be the ring card girl, and I need Blake commentating the whole entire thing impersonating Joe Rogan the whole time as well.
Oh my god. Just wait for the perfect time to get knocked out.
All right, I think I got an idea because we could potentially make this happen because out of all that, I mean, we got this set up, but the one thing we're going to need is someone to actually capture the action with a camera. You got to move that around. So you guys put it together. I'll come to Dallas and I'll film. We'll literally have this full on UFC fight. And I'll just have okay, we gotta find a way to record this. There's BB. I got you guys. Woo!
Oh my god, dude! I think we'd have to get Alex out there just to be able to make that happen and everything, dude. That would be fantastic. Be like, hey, I still got a score to settle with you. Just make that shit happen, dude. Actually make it cinematic feeling and everything.
Edit WWE meets UFC, where the fight's gonna be UFC, but you're gonna do all these different WWE promos.
Oh god, dude, that would be great. And like we said, a lot of us in the band really like wrestling and stuff like that. So Aaron would mess with Alex, with the Stone Cold Steve Austin stuff. And dude, there was actually a time where me and Alex were literally considering, in our off time, actually training to be wrestlers and actually be forming a tag team and really going for it.
Oh my god, are you serious?
Yeah, dude, it's for real, dude. We were actually starting to come up with tag team names, ring attire, everything, dude. And then he actually told me later on he actually tried it. Dude, this guy stiffed him over and over on his first day, dude. He was taking massive stiff clotheslines to the chest 4 or 5 times in a row, dude. And then the trainer's hey, get up here on the top rope. I want you to do a backflip, corkscrew down to a belly flop or whatever. And he did it, which was amazingly impressive. It's wow, I can't believe you actually done that. He was legitimately surprised. He's dude, nobody, I've never asked anybody to do that. And they actually do it. And he's dude, no, fuck this. He's I'm done. I'm already gone.
It's I had my little dream here. I'm calling it quits. This is it. I'm done.
But dude, the guy he was training with on that day was 450 pounds. And dude, Alex is my size, dude. I'm 6'2", 155, man. And dude, he is getting stiffed. He is getting worked. Dude, it was dude telling me this. And I was just dude, I could not believe the fact that he actually even was able to try it. My dad was a wrestler when I was growing up and everything. And I've been all the way around it all the time. And I actually know a good bit of it. And I used to play in rings and all that stuff all the time when I was a kid. But, it's still something I think I would like to pursue at some point, or at least give it a shot. I'd like to at least train and just see where it goes. See if I would clarify to make the cut. Am I tough enough?
Yeah, exactly. WWE was it? Yeah, was it WWE Tough Enough? That was I think they had that promotion at one point back in 2006, 2007 or something like that.
It was straight up a contestant thing where you literally come in thinking that you're good enough to do it. And literally people try from all different walks of life to become a wrestler, dude. And people like Triple H and all that stuff, they'd be do you really want to do this? Be you're off the road a lot. You're not home a lot. Be what's she doing when I'm home? What's he doing whenever he's on the road? And stuff like that. Dude, he is breaking these people down mentally and physically.
Well, the whole entire thing is, are you tough enough to do this? So he's, I mean, I got to give Triple H some credit on that one because he's literally just giving it to you straight.
Dude, honestly, we need something like that nowadays, but don't do wrestling. Do a rock or a metal band or just any band for that general. Literally put you on the road for a month. Are you strong enough for this? Because being on the road and everything is very, very hard. It's very taxing on the body, on the mind, on the spirit. And dude, there's so many people that I've met who went out there and they've came back a different person and stuff because it's so hard. Because it might only be 3 weeks, man, but dude, those 3 weeks turn into a year in your head.
Well, yeah, because you're constantly on the move. You're constantly going to places. But especially if you got a family involved as well, you're away from your family. And I mean, take a look at some of these bands that have been touring consistently for 20 some years. Because I recently had a discussion with Stevie, the guitarist from the band Buckcherry.
Yeah.
We were talking about, because they're always on the road doing all this crazy stuff. And he was talking to me about, like, during the pandemic, what they were doing. They're like, yeah, they were working on new music, writing new album. But he said one of the coolest things about the pandemic was he had his son is 5 years old, so he got to spend a whole entire year with his son.
Wow.
And he's like, he's like, the stuff that we did and that time that we spent, he's like, even though it's like, with the pandemic, financials got a little bit strained because you're not performing, you're not on the road, you're not playing those live shows, you're not getting that money coming in. He's like, as much as that sucked, when it came down to it, the time he got to spend with this kid was much more important than any money that he lost in terms of not being able to tour for a year.
Right. Man, that's fantastic, man. Like, that's the one thing for me. And like, me and Dave are the only one in the bands that even have like kids and everything. And, it's hard, even when we went out and recorded our album and everything, I was gone for like 6 days, dude. And it felt like an eternity being away from my kid, but it's one of those things that you really kind of figure out if you really can do this whenever you have to deal with stuff like that, and it's just, you think that you can do it. You can think that you can do it. And then you get put in that situation. You're like, I don't know if I can do this, dude. Like, this is hard. It gets really rough. Like, with us and everything, dude, like the first tour I went on, we played 8 shows in a row before we had one off day. We was like night after night, driving, eating a little bit of food, playing, and just over and over and over, just rinse and repeat. And dude, by that time, like, your sleep schedule changes, your eating habits change, the amount of energy that you end up having by the end of the night, it changes. Like, everything just adapts so quickly, at least for me. Like, 2 or 3 days on the road, and then I'm golden, dude. Like, it'll be like a few days before I really have to crash and really get some rest. But it's a whole nother animal than what anybody ever expects it to be. It's like what you guys think that you like see on the road. It's just rolling up in luxury and then rolling up in there, playing your music, going back and, getting a 5-star meal and then going back and just hanging out on the bus. No, it's like a lot of driving. It's seeing McDonald's after McDonald's, seeing gas station after gas station, just endless miles of road, like deserts and freezing colds or burning hot, like all these little things just add up and people don't ever think about that. And it's just like, then we get out there on stage and we act like nothing ever happened to us that day.
Yeah, it's you're not going to be a band like, I mean, unless you get to like that level like Metallica where, then all of a sudden after you get up on stage, then you're getting like that 5-star meal and you're getting the luxury accommodations. But a lot of the bands I've talked to, it's like, you're getting like these like massive passenger vans or Sprinter vans, and you're hauling all your stuff with you, and there's not a lot of room in those things. And it's somewhere when you take a look at, yes, I understand everyone, like a lot of people are passionate about music, they want to do this stuff and they want to go out and perform, they want to get to that certain point where making music, playing music is what they do for the rest of their lives. But there also is something else that you have to remember, is that there is definitely going to be an extra toll that comes on to always having to be on the road, playing these different shows. Again, like you said, sleep habits change, eating habits change, everything changes when you're on the road because your schedule and your lifestyle is completely different. And the question is can you handle that for a long period of time? Because you might go on a tour like a month here, month there, month here, month there, which I get it. It's like, it doesn't seem like that much. Multiply that in years though. Just keep that coming, because all of a sudden you're not going to be home. You're going to be missing out on certain things at home. However, there's also be people that are going to be wishing that they were in your position as well, because all the cool stuff all the places you get to go, the fact that you're living out the dream that you have. Yeah. So there's kind of both sides to it, where there are certain pitfalls to it, but then there's also a side of it where if that's really what you want to do, there's going to be a lot of people that look at you and are going to be kind of envious of you in a way, due to the fact that you're going out and doing exactly what you want to do in life, and you're not trying to necessarily play it safe and let your dream go by the wayside.
Right. I mean, it takes a lot to get to the point to, luckily, like where we're at and a lot of other bands, to be bigger than we are, and even people who are right at the same level, or there's still people that haven't made it as far, or have shot way past us and everything like that. But we all go through the same road and everything. And I'm extremely humbled to be a part of the band at the time that I did, because I've literally went through those bad ruts, and we've literally went and we clawed and we fought. And, now that we're signed and we're on a label and everything, it's like a whole nother level, but it's almost like you're restarting over again. It's like you get to that point of being like a grunt worker, like in a corporation or something. It's like, hey, now you're a manager, but you're the manager of something that really doesn't matter. Now you got to work your way up that totem pole and get to that next level. It's literally like you're literally just jumping grades, trying to fight your way to the next one.
Or it's kind of like, I remember all the time my brother was playing Call of Duty, he's playing multiplayer. It's like, okay, you get to the top level and you prestige and you go back down to the beginning, but it's like you have that mark that you already did it once. So it's, you've gone to a certain level and now you're to the next level, but you got to start out that next level at the bottom. You got to keep clawing your way up. The same thing with the podcast as well, because it's seeing the bands I get to talk to now. If I would have looked at last year, like take a look back at like when I first started interviewing bands, would I have thought at this point in time I'd be interviewing some of the bands that I have had? I honestly would have said, how the hell are you doing this, kid? But hell, here we are going. I'm like, yeah, I've got to this certain point, but now I want to keep going. I got to keep going because in a way it's like I want to have that where I'm like, I get all these different listeners, all these different subscribers, and have this massive podcast. But the real reason is because, hell, this is what I want to do. I when it comes to anything with MSOD Rocks and the Chord Progression podcast, the podcast is the thing I enjoy the most. I enjoy so much more just connecting with all these different bands, all these different people in music, talking all these different experiences, hearing all these different stories, and just connecting in a way where, honestly, it's like you're literally sitting in a room with me, drinking a beer, shooting the shit. We're having a good time.
Yeah, dude, it's fantastic, dude. Like, I love doing interviews and I like being on and talking to people and everything. And, it's very liberating and it's very freeing. And it's one of those things that, some people, they're like, why would I want to do an interview and everything? It's just like, dude, you literally get to dive into somebody else's brain for a while. Like whenever all you're doing is just hearing their music, like you can really figure out like stories behind some of the stuff. You can find out a lot of crazy stories with bandmates and stuff like that. You can figure out what's got them to the point that they are. I love it. I'll literally just like, I've been listening to your podcast a good bit. Like, I won't lie. I really have been, including the one, involving the other guys, but it's just like all those little bits of tidbit information that you literally get straight from the sources themselves. And you're like, you never would have got that, if they hadn't have got on there and did the interview. So you have to at least appreciate it for that.
Oh, absolutely. Because there's a lot of times where, like with some of these podcasts, I've learned some things about certain bands, certain musicians, where even some of the bigger ones that I've known a lot longer, where I'm like, I have had no idea that this was even the case. And then not only that, but it's like I get a chance to connect with you guys. I get a chance to connect with all the girls that are on the podcast as well. And then when it comes time to now that concerts are fully back and I get to go out and see you guys perform, I get to connect with you on, it's like I get to see you guys perform, and now there's again that more personal connection, but then I get to meet with you guys after the show and actually get to talk with you more face to face. But then the fact of the matter is, it's kind of cool because then all of a sudden it's like there's this already relaxed vibe behind it because, hell, we already talked, we already had a good conversation. Let's just keep it going in a way.
Right? Man, we've already pushed this boulder over the cliff, man. Let's just watch it roll.
Pretty much. That's the best way to put it. We've already pushed over the cliff. Let's just keep it rolling. And then all of a sudden it's just going to start picking up steam. And then it's going to just, it's get to the point where it's going to get to the bottom of the hill. It's going to keep rolling. It's going to end up rolling through somebody's house. And then, well, yeah, that's when we have the brawl.
Man, if it goes through the house, man, I just pray that I'm standing on the other side of the wall waiting for it to come through.
Or that you're at the top of the mountain like, yeah, good thing I'm not down there.
Just like I'm ready, man. Like I like to take things head on and everything. I don't like, I don't like things kind of getting away from me. I'd rather just battle it, get it done with, and just be over with it.
Yeah, because if you hold on to it if you just like kind of push it to the side and like it's still gonna be there, but it's all of a sudden then more stuff gets piled on, and then that gets forgotten about, and you start getting all these different emotions, maybe some anxiety over the fact that you have all this other stuff you still got to get done, and you haven't done it yet, and you have the time to do it, but because you procrastinated, you're kind of just like, oh my god, how am I gonna get this done? I mean, people that go to college all the time, it's like, oh, people go party and whatnot, and all of a sudden you get to like halfway the semester and you realize that you're way, way, way behind, and all of a sudden you got to grind through that shit just to pass.
Yeah,
I had a couple of classes that was like that. Still somehow pass them all, so
hey, don't feel bad. I can't tell you how many times I would be like in some kind of English or psychology or something like that where they required like some kind of essay or report or something like that, and they needed sources and all that stuff. Dude, give me 3 hours before it's due the day of college, and dude, I'd still come out with like a B plus, A minus, if not better. Like, I do well under pressure, but I literally do not thrive well whenever somebody's like, hey, here's something that needs to be done, but it's not due until like 6 months from now. I'll forget it. It's done. It's over with. Like, I'm not going to play this. I'll make sure I just do great throughout the rest of this time, because inevitably what's going to happen is I'm going to forget about that probably in the next 2 days. And then I'm going to freak out. And then I'm just going to do the best I can and just stress myself out for one night rather than over 6 months.
Oh yeah, because for me, it's just like I take a look like with some of the podcast stuff too. It's if I can book an episode, if I can like or schedule an episode, I'm in. And all of a sudden, there's times where I'll take a look and see, okay, like today I'll have to take a look after this podcast and see, okay, what do I still have left to like basically create a preview sheet for, so that when the time I shoot that podcast, I am ready to roll.
Right.
A lot of it's like, especially if we got a bunch of new music I have to dive into. Okay, that's going to take me a while, because I do not just listen to it like twice and then come up with my thoughts. Like, I'll listen to it once, I'll listen to it twice, and then I'll like literally go through it piece by piece and try and like really understand it. Like, God, I think when I reviewed the Rise Against album, the Nowhere Generation, I think that whole review took me about 6 hours. But then again, I was more than happy to do that one. I'm like, this is awesome. Yeah. I'm going into this. I think the Beartooth one took me like 5 just to write out.
So I have a question for you now, Mr. Man.
I got a question. Someone's asking me a question? What? This is reversal. Yep. You pulled out the Uno card. How
the turntables have turneth. So, are you ready, sir?
Yes.
Unbiasedness opinion. I'm assuming that you've listened to pretty much our whole album at this point, correct?
Yes.
What is your top pick? I just want to know what do you vibe with?
Well, honestly, for me, like I always like to vibe with like some of the harder, heavier, more raw stuff, but I don't know what it is. Kind of like listening to your album, when I kind of dove back into some of the stuff that I listened to really before I got into like real big into metalcore, I really connect with California a hell of a lot, which is really interesting. Because Blake actually asked me the exact same question at the end of the other podcast. He's like, "Which one was the one that really stuck out to you?" And it was like, man, when I went through California, I don't know what it was, but just the way everything flowed on it. Because I got to even take a look at my little overall thing I had on it. I said, overall, this song feels like you lose hope many times and then amps you up to remember that you can never give up. Blake's voice just has a natural fit for the more driving anthemic hard rock track, and it works really well to help build on that. The instrumentals do the same by consistently dropping back in parts prior to the chorus, only to build up that hope once again. It's an interesting move if I've ever heard one, but it's one that I'm absolutely all in for because they do it consistently, and you never get tired of that build-up. So, and wow. I just had to read that off of what I wrote because I'm like, that's why I always write this stuff down and type it out, because I listen to so much music. There's times where I forget certain things because, there's so much going through my head. There's so many new songs going through my ears. I'm like, if I listen to something I really want to dive deep in, I got to make sure there's a written record of it so I can pull it out right then and there.
That is awesome. And I was just want to make sure, because I do remember that Blake asking you that. But, you've had some time to, kind of let some things digest. I just wanted to make sure you didn't have a change of heart or anything like that.
Nope, no change of heart. I still really like California as a song. It just, I don't know what it is, but just the way that flow goes, the way that it drops back in the verse and kind of amps up towards the chorus and really picks up in that feel, you kind of it's kind of like lose hope, and all of a sudden it gains you back right then again. And it keeps doing that. But the fact of the matter is, in life, there's a lot of times where different things will happen that'll pull you back, that you lose hope on, and then it just keeps picking back up, and you got to just keep going at it, because hope is one of the most powerful emotions, the most powerful things in the world, to just keep you going, keep you driving. You could be having the worst go back to 2017 for myself when things were not going right. Depression took over massively. Suicidal tendencies happen. Even a couple of attempts happen as well. And I'm not afraid to say that because it is a part of exactly who I am. And it's the reason why I'm doing this right now, because life is too freaking fragile to not be doing what I want to do.
Hey, don't feel bad, man. I'm right there with you, man. I've literally been right through the same storms, and I've fought the same battles that you're talking about, man. So believe you me, and that's the thing about all this, is the fact through music stuff like this and everything, you'll find people in comment sections that are like talking just like this, and they're like, "You're not alone, man. You never were.
No, you never will be." Absolutely. You're never alone, especially when it comes to like if you're a rock and metal fan. If you connect with a song in that realm, where all of a sudden it's helping you understand maybe depression a little bit more. Maybe if you're having suicidal tendencies, it helps you understand that and potentially pull you away from that. you're going to see people that are in the comment section that are not only going to be supportive of you, but have also gone through the exact same thing. Maybe it's going to be in a different song that helped pull them back, like we were talking about earlier. But the fact of the matter is that emotion is still the same, and we understand that. And the world is so much better with you people in it than without you people in it. We'd much rather have you here than have to, talk about you not being here. We'd much rather see you at that show enjoying the moment with us, because at that moment, honestly, it's like all the crap of the world, any kind of problems, all the bullshit just goes away, especially at a live show for like that hour and a half. And it's pretty powerful. It's like it's so positively impactful. It's ridiculous. I gotta get back to so many fucking concerts, man.
I know, dude. I feel that, dude. Like, I really, really need to get back into at least like a few good shows, because, dude, there is so much pent up frustration and anger and depression and everything else that falls along with that, dude. That, like, I either need to be playing a show right now or I need to go to one. That way I can let it all out around people who are going to be doing the exact same thing. I would love to be up on stage right now to do, because I'm telling you, like, I can just visualize in my head the fact that most of the shows and everything, and that's one thing about me, is people always tell me that whenever I play shows and everything, that I'm a whole nother person. Like, I'm not anything like I am right now. I'm not reserved or anything like that. The music videos only partially reflect how it really is live, but live, I literally turn into a completely different person, dude. Like most shows I don't even remember. Like, I literally just get zoned, and I'm literally just playing and just so up in the moment, dude. I beat the crap out of my basses. I jump around. I actually, quick little pro quo story. Back when I joined the band, and our old rhythm guitarist named Connor was playing with us and everything, we were playing a show, and one time I was just like, I'm gonna try a move. I want to try something. I jumped up and I did like a split kick or whatever. I was just like trying to kick my feet out, something like Mike Dirk from Green Day or something like that. And I tried to do it. I kicked Connor straight in the hand in the guitar. With my boot, like literally heel backwards, hit him so hard. Dude, I felt terrible, dude. Like, his hand was throbbing for days. But, dude, like, and I was like, that it's like the bad stuff I remember happening and stuff like that. But I get so lost in it and everything, and I'm trying to put on the best show I possibly can, dude. Like, and I really don't want anybody blasting me on this one. I love Breaking Benjamin. Love them to death. We'll never watch them live ever again.
Really?
Put cardboard cutouts of them up there, and you'll do just fine. I'm sorry, but it is exactly what it is. Blake can attest to the same thing. I've seen them 2 different times. Maybe if they're just on an off night. Dude, I mean, they've got some good little nuances and everything, but they don't jump around. You don't feel the energy. And, dude, Benjamin cusses way too much to where it's literally he's trying to cuss just to kind of fit in. Like, he'll see kids across the front row. It's like, hey, kids, you got one of the guys want to come up here for the last song and everything. All the rest of the show, F this, GD that, and everything, just unnecessarily throwing it all in there. And I don't like that. And then the fact that the show wasn't really that entertaining. I literally could have closed my eyes and enjoyed the show better, because they sounded better than they do on the record. They sound amazing live. But in comparison to somebody who came on after them, like Shinedown, that sounds amazing, looks amazing, and gives you the best show they can every single time, there's no contest at all.
I can agree with you on some of that, because I've seen Breaking Benjamin twice. First time I saw them, they did a whole entire acoustic set, which I wasn't expecting. But with the acoustic set, like that kind of style of their stage presence, perfect for an acoustic set.
Yeah.
Oh, dear God, perfect for it. Second time I saw them, I mean, it was more of the full-on show. They had Under Oath and Skillet opening up for them. And Breaking Benjamin, just the style of music, but also just like their stage presence, it definitely brought down the energy. So I can see where you're coming from there. However, they did have a little more movements, especially from Ben, because Ben was actually in the crowd a good amount performing, which was really cool.
Yeah.
But I can see where you're coming from that, because the one time I got to see Seether, it was kind of the same thing where they were just super duper static on stage. They didn't move or anything, super stiff. And I kind of looked at him like, this just is not really hitting me right. Like, I'm not sure if I want to go see Seether again because of that. It could have easily been an off night. Easily could have been. I just don't know what happened, but I was sitting there thinking, really?
You're just, it's like nobody goes. I mean, we do it for the music, but nobody goes to see a band to just literally not see the band, you know? You literally want to go and watch them. You're not there just for your ears to be entertained. You're literally going for your eyes too. Like, you want to be involved. You want to feel that energy. You want to see it. You want to hear it, you know, and that's something that just don't get off the record. That's why people go to live shows.
I'll say, and for me, because like the shows that I like to go to, again, like a lot of the hard rock, punk rock, metalcore stuff, of course there's going to be mosh pits involved, so I'm going to be full on in for it.
Yeah.
But then there are times where like bands I want to go see them, and of course that's not going to end up happening, so it's going to be something that's different. Perfect example of that is I got to go see Alter Bridge right before the shutdown happened. And of course, you're not going to get this crazy kind of crowd there, which I'm like, you know, I really want. I'm like, but I know I'm not going to get it. So let's just see what this stage performance is like. Okay, I can't play guitar. I have no idea how this works. But I watched Mark Tremonti play for an hour and a half, and I looked and I'm just thinking, I don't know how to play the fucking guitar. And then there's people who know how to play the fucking guitar and have no idea how he does that.
Right, dude. Tremonti is a virtuoso. Like, that whole band is just nothing but a giant influence to so much music that I listen to now. And I love Alter Bridge and Brian Marshall, their bass player. Dude, I've done so much of my techniques on the way I play 5-string now and everything. I play 5-string bass almost exclusively at this point. And dude, that guy is just amazing. And dude, he hardly ever plays with a pick. Everything on our record, including the Haunted, I can play with my fingers or with a pick. And really? Same thing with Brian Marshall. Like, they'll usually always make a bass player record with a pick for consistency. But I love playing with fingers because it makes me feel so in tune with playing bass and everything. But I look to Brian Marshall because there's only like one song he actually has to play live with a pick, and that's One Day Remains, because it is so consistently heavy, and he'll only do it during the verses, and he'll throw the pick in his mouth and keep playing with his fingers and then keep going back and forth till the song's over. That's the only song he does it on that I know of.
Interesting. Okay, I'm going to close out this podcast by asking you one more question, or two more questions, actually.
Oh, okay.
First one is, out of all the bands you have seen live, which band has been the best to see live?
Well, from an overall standpoint, honestly, at this point, I'm going to have to put it probably up between like maybe 2 or 3, because it's really hard to narrow it down. I mean, so many, but I'm a little biased because I've seen Shinedown multiple times, and they never ever disappoint. And I love Shinedown, but at the same time, Beartooth's really up there because of their energy and stuff like that. But dude, at the same time, just the sheer determination and the way they responded with the crowd, it'd probably have to be Disturbed.
No way, really?
Dude, Disturbed killed it at RockFest when he saw them, dude. And I mean, they're in a festival. It ain't like the ballroom or something like that. But dude, just the way that they had a grip on the crowd, like, it was even heavier than Godsmack, dude. And they were the night before that and everything. And I was like, you know, I love Disturbed and everything, but dude, they like started making me like where I was like listening to like multiple like old stuff that I never delved into on a daily basis, listening to Disturbed all the time just because of the way they were live.
Oh yeah.
And they were just ripping it apart, man. Like, they were just not missing a beat, and they were just going through it all. And it was just mind blowing. I was just like, I've never seen them before now, and I'm very disappointed that this is the only time I've seen them now.
All right, so everyone listening to the podcast, you've probably heard me tell this before, but I got to tell this to Dakotah as well. So, Dakotah, go and watch the live video that they put together, the live music video they put together for Hold On to Memories. Look at the 2:37 mark. You'll see a woman that's like getting very emotional in the crowd, but then on the right side of the screen, you're going to see like half of a guy's face. And everyone's getting emotional like around because it's Hold On Memory. It's a very emotional song. But you see half this guy's face, and he just looks like a total goofball, just smiling, enjoying himself. That's me.
I will check that out.
That is me. And because I remember watching, I'm like, I wonder if they're going to put me like in here, because the person, like the woman that was next to me, huge Disturbed fan, knows the band. So it was like, I'm pretty sure they're going to end up putting her in there. but I thought it was gonna be from the show like 2 nights beforehand. But they put in the one at Milwaukee, and you see my dumbass face just like just enjoying it all, and everyone's getting emotional. I'm like, yeah, but I still love selling that because it's just funny as all hell.
Dude, that's fantastic, though. I mean, you're in a Deserve video. You can say that.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say if I had to pick like the best band I've ever seen live, like it's so hard because it's different types of sets. The best like absolute insanity show I've ever seen has to be Ice Nine Kills. Just the horror trope, the energy, everything about it. Like no matter where you were at that show, it was nuts. From a consistency standpoint, they're like if you look at their presence on stage, like the whole entire like pageantry behind the performance, it's really not there, but it's just the energy the guys put out. It's consistent. The crowd always reacts incredibly well. It's got to be Rise Against. Absolutely love it. Yes. But when it comes to the energy, goddamn Beartooth, holy shit.
Dude, and I seen Kiss back when I was back in 2008, Kiss Live 35. Kiss puts on an amazing show, and I mean, they get a lot of flack and everything, but I was raised around like hair bands like Kiss and Mike Root, Kiss's sister, and Rat, and all that stuff and everything. But dude, I still enjoyed the fuck out of them regardless of the situation because they are still Kiss. I mean, that's just one of those things. Like everybody knows who Kiss is. I mean, they're literally a brand. They're not just a band anymore.
Yeah, I had something similar. I had to see AC/DC perform in 2009 after the Black Ice album, and they had the stage presence was hilarious. They had this giant train as their setup, and all of a sudden they played Whole Lot of Rosie, and they had this inflatable Rosie that was straddling the train. And then after that was on, here comes the inflatable Rosie. She's deflating. All of a sudden, this giant bell just descends from the rafters, and Brian Johnson runs all the way across the stage and swings on the bell and starts Hell's Bells that way. I'm just like, now this is fucking awesome. And the dude's like this dude's got to be almost in his 60s at this point.
Now, the best band theatrically, Alice Cooper, hands down.
Really?
Dude, I saw him back in 2017, and dude, he is rocking it like he never had before. Dude, this guy has so much energy, one of the most nice people I've ever met, because Dave actually knows Nita Strauss, and they actually used to play music together and everything back in the heyday. And we got to meet her, and we got to hang out with her. She's amazing, and she's such an amazing guitar player. And Alice Cooper, dude, like his wife is in every single show. Like, dude, when they play Feed My Frankenstein, they literally have like a 15, 16-foot Frankenstein coming out swinging arms. Like, I'm talking like snakes on stage and stuff. Like, it is such an experience to be able to literally watch Alice Cooper perform.
So speaking of Nita Strauss, I think that when Rolling Stone came out their best guitars of the decade for 2010s, I think Nita Strauss came in second.
Yeah.
Only behind Mr. Mark Tremonti.
Dude, like Nita Strauss is, if I could ever play guitar as well as she can, like, dude, I would be over the moon. I mean, like, I could literally strive for that the rest of my life, and I would never get to the point that she's at. She is literally on a whole nother level. Like, her and Mark would literally go back and forth for number one for no telling how long. Like, they'd probably be like that in the next decade, man. Like, they'd just be right there at 1 and 2.
Probably. All right, now I got to ask my last question.
All right.
So when are you guys getting back out on the road?
Gotta make sure nobody's around. Very soon.
We'll take that as a very soon. All right. So, Dakotah, I want to thank you for being on the Chord Progression podcast today. So I'm going to end it with 3 things. So you guys know I said the exact same thing at the end of the first BrokenRail podcast with Blake, with Dave, with Aaron, where every single thing you need with their social media accounts, every single thing you need with the YouTube channel, with their website where you can find their merch, where you can stream their music. You just got to look at the description of the podcast, say find BrokenRail online. Again, if you guys didn't do it the first time, you're going to have to do it this time. Please do, because you're going to want to listen to that album. Again, the album is called Beautiful Chaos. You're going to want to enjoy as much of BrokenRail as possible, and you're going to want to stay connected with them because, hell, live music very soon from these guys. Oh, yeah. No, you already know about the fact that I promised the guys, first rounds on me, but I'm pretty sure that I should just do it this way because second podcast, this was fucking awesome. First 2 rounds on me.
Oh man, the guys are going to be happy when they hear about that one.
Oh, absolutely. And if I end up in Dallas and all of a sudden Blake's like, dude, come on over, I'm just going to bring 2 30 packs and be like, let's go.
Look, you bring that, we'll bring the handles of Jack, okay? And it'll be all gone in about an hour.
Just no fireball.
No, I will literally go to the hospital. I will go to the ER. It'll be on the headline news the next day. BrokenRail's bass player died from a cinnamon overdose. It would happen. I have no doubt.
So yeah, we'll keep with beer and whiskey, but no fireball. Like Jack Daniels or we'll get some Jameson too. Ooh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Jameson whiskey. Yeah.
Yes. Alrighty, well, Dakotah, again, thank you very much for being on the podcast again. Second edition with Broken Rail, but this time Dakotah got a little bit of the story time to tell him. So kind of even out with these guys. This is freaking awesome. Can't wait to have you guys on again. You, Dakotah, along with, because I know Blake and Dave and Aaron are probably listening as well at some point. So can't wait to have you guys back on as well. Can't wait to see you guys for the first time play live. And then potentially just hang out in Dallas and just shoot the shit, drink some beer, have a good time. So on that note, won't end this podcast with goodbye. I got to end it with, see you later. Well, folks, with my review with Dakotah from the band Broken Rail. Again, Blake, Dave, and Aaron. I hope you guys enjoyed that one because I cannot wait to hang out with all of you guys and Dakotah and your drummer as well. I'll bring the beer. I told you guys this. Again, first rounds of me. Otherwise, I'll just bring the first 2 cases. I think that's a fair trade, right? Fair trade? Oh, yeah. And again, I want to make sure you guys check out everything that Broken Rail has to offer. So please go to the description of the podcast. You're going to see Find Broken Rail online. Everything you could possibly need to find them will be there, along with everything for MSOTD Rocks and the Chord Progression podcast. Make sure you subscribe to the MSOTD Rocks YouTube channel because that's where you get all the Chord Progression podcast videos, along with, if you're like, more just the audio version, Spotify podcasts and iHeart Radio are the way to go. Again, link description below. I also want to thank Phoenix Fitness once again for sponsoring this video. Again, you get 15% off using the code MSOTD at checkout. And on that note, that's going to be for me, guys. Thank you for watching, listening to the Chord Progression podcast brought to you by MSOTD Rocks and Rock, I'll Thrive. My name is Kevin, and you guys know how I end every single one of the big, healthy, and hearty. See ya.